Hi everyone, in this video we'll be solving this pair of simultaneous equations. So we're trying to find x. So let's manipulate both equations to something more workable. So in the first equation, we can write both sides to the base of 4. So 32 is the square root of 4, which is 4 to the half, but then if we take it to the power of 5, using our index laws, we have 4 to the 5 on 2. Now we can equate the powers by natural equality. So we can say that x over y plus y over x equals 5 on 2. Simplifying this a bit more, we get x squared plus y squared on xy equals 5 on 2. So this is just making a common denominator and adding our fractions. Then, to make sure that we have no fractions to deal with, let's cross multiply 2x squared plus 2y squared will give us 5xy. So we have one equation that's a bit more workable. Alright, with our second equation, we've got log of x minus y times x plus y to base 3 equals 1. So if we write this in index form, we'll get x minus y times x plus y equals 3 to the power of 1, which is 3. Using our difference of two squares, we've got x squared take y squared equals 3. Let's just rearrange for one variable. Let's pick y, because why not? So we get y squared equals x squared take 3. You can probably now have an idea of what's coming. If not, let's see if you're right. So let's take the first equation and we're going to square both sides. Now, this will create extra solutions because of the graph when we square a function. So we'll make sure we check our solutions at the end. So we're going to get 2x squared plus 2y squared all squared equals 25x squared y squared. Let's expand this. 4x to the power of 4 plus 8x squared y squared equals 4y to the power of 4, using our perfect squares. And then let's make one side equal 0, because very likely we're going to be doing some factorizing soon. And then the null factor law would be useful. So making one side 0, we'll get 4x to the 4 takes 17 x squared y squared plus 4y to the 4 equals 0. Now we're going to take our second equation, y squared equals x squared take 3, and substitute it in here now for y squared. That's why we squared both sides. So we get 4x to the 4 takes 17x squared times x squared take 3 plus 4 times x squared take 3 all squared equals 0. So now we're just going to expand everything and simplify by collecting like terms, and let's see what we can do from here. So when we solve equations, a good start is to make one side 0 all the time, because then you can use the null factor law if you are able to factorize something. So let's see if that actually works out here. So we've just expanded. Let's collect like terms. So we have 8 x to the negative 9 x to the 4, and then we have plus 27 x squared plus 36 equals 0. Now this is looking promising because all the terms can be divided by 9. We're actually going to divide by negative 9 to make the leading term positive. And then we get x to the 4 take 3x squared take 4 equals 0. We can factorize this as a quadratic in terms of x squared. So if you want to do a substitution, you can let x squared equals a or something like that, but you will still get x squared take 4 times x squared plus 1 equals 0. Now, using the null factor law, we'll get x equals plus or minus 2, and x squared plus 1 equals 0 has no solutions. So using x equals plus or minus 2, let's find a value for y. We'll get y squared equals 4 take 3 equals 1, so that means y equals plus or minus 1. Even though the problem said find x, we need to find y to be able to check that any of these solutions are valid. So if we look at our second equation, we can see that we have a log. So x plus y and x minus y must be greater than 0, otherwise it's undefined. So because we're dealing with real numbers here. So, and that means x can't equal negative 2, because negative 2, if y equals plus or minus 1, we'd be logging a negative number. That's not going to work. And that leaves us with x equals positive 2, and now we just need to make sure that y is 1 or negative 1. If we try y equals negative 1, it's actually not going to work in the first equation. We're not going to get 32. So that means x equals 2 and y equals 1, so therefore x equals 2.